Hey everyone, it's Erica Renee, and I'm here with another live video. I'm titling this video Misconceptions about TBIs. Misconceptions about TBIs. Prior to being injured, I had no idea what a TBI meant. Um, and for those of you who don't know, it's an acronym that stands for traumatic brain injury. Do me a favor, send a heart or like if you know someone with a TBI or if you're a TBI survivor yourself. And if you're watching the replay, please type in the comments replay, hashtag replay. As I was saying, I had no idea what TBI meant until I actually had one. And when someone has an injury, type of brain injury, it can affect them in different ways. I've been blessed to be affected in certain areas, and I'm learning and finding out more and more information every day about TBIs. You know how it causes certain emotions, habits, what food you can eat to help your memory, and things like that. And also, if someone has very little knowledge about TBIs, it leaves room for misconceptions and for people to assume all kind of things. And so I've heard these statements. I have four of them. Is one is all brain injuries are the same. Two, people with TBIs need assistance to complete every task. Three, people with TBIs have the same emotional needs. No, I'm sorry. People with TBIs don't have the same emotional needs. And four, you could tell if a person has a brain injury. These statements are like so false. Like it's like beyond me how people come up with stuff like this. And I know they can't be a survivor because if they were, then it would not be an option. But they're to recant to correct these fallacies and for one, for the first statement, I know survivors will agree with this as well. All brain injuries are not the same. Some people who suffer TBIs may just be affected in certain areas. Some people may just be affected mentally. Some people may be affected physically. Some people may be affected emotionally. Like we all have different areas on how we're affected. And if any part of your brain was injured, that could play a role too. And brain injuries are not tailored to affect everyone in the same way. Two, people with TBIs don't need help with everything, just certain things. But when help is needed, speak for myself, I'll ask for help if I need help with something. I used to be like, kind of like, I don't want to, it's like, you would ask for help, but you want to, but you don't want to. And so my earlier years of being injured, I was too proud. I was very prideful and I was embarrassed to ask for help because I felt like I should be able to do it. But I learned to get out of my own way and step out of myself and you know, ask for help basically. And so, but I will say it's important to allow a person with a TBI the opportunity to at least try before jumping in and rescuing them and taking over. The help is appreciated, but allow us to have room to at least try. As truth be told, several of us have to rely on assistance from others, but when the task can be completed without assistance, allow us our independence. Like it's already been kind of altered anyway, so we could have independence in the area. Allow that to like caregivers and stuff like that. Allow the survivors to have room to try something, try at least or whatever. Three, people with TBIs don't have the same emotional needs as a non-TBI person. In some cases, we all have feelings, and just because ours may have been altered, doesn't mean they're not there. And I'm here to say our emotions are they're still there. I mean, we're human. We're still human. We're still people. We're still, it's just some people are more affected than other people in other areas. And four, the statement that I said that you could tell if a person has a brain injury, again, false. You cannot tell if a person has a brain injury. It's an invisible injury. You can't see brains. Nobody can see anyone's brain besides on pictures or whatever like that, but you can't see a person's brain. It's not obvious if a person had a brain injury unless they have unless you, especially if there's a physical evidence. because now people use wheelchairs. Now people use canes or walking devices or other things to help them move around or whatever. So it's not always obvious if a person had a TBI. And people often assume, like when people see me, some people think that, oh, she might have been in a car accident. And I've heard, were you in a car accident? And I'm like, no. And then they say, so what happened to you? I'm like, well, I was shot in my head. They feel like, what? So I end up going to my story, whatever, and it goes on from there. But and I even made a mistake myself of assuming a person didn't have a TBI or a brain injury rather. When I saw someone and I didn't see any evidence, no physical evidence. I didn't see a wheelchair. I didn't see any type of device they needed to walk around. The person looked normal, like just normal, like a regular person. And but when I actually saw, I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, it kind of checked me as well. And but just like with God, we can't see God, but we know He's there. If you're a believer, you believe He's there, but it doesn't get her there. But yeah, so that's what I have to share today. I will say that on at my episode TBI Uncover last week, I interviewed with a guy named Christopher Dietrich, and he had brain injury, and we discussed several things, and we had a good interview, whatever conversation, and we talked about like things that you can say to a survivor, whatever, and it was so funny how we kind of had the same idea, whatever, but other times people don't know what to say. Like they just don't know what to say, and it's okay. But some survivors, not all, but some, may make people feel like they can't say anything to them. Now, me, I'm open book. Like you want to ask me anything, I'm open book, whatever. But everyone's not like me though. So, but it's survivors. We have to be um, aware of people and have a little more grace. Actually on both ends, like for survivors and not people who are not survivors or whatever. You gotta have grace for everyone because so people just don't know, and it's okay to not know. But I will say, get knowledgeable about it. Like get some knowledge about it. Like whether it's from me, a book, or some other way. Don't make assumptions because we're all affected differently. Like I said earlier, no TBI is the same. No traumatic brain injury is the same. So you can't take it Taylor that way. We're not all one box. We're not all. It's not a cookie cutter thing. So, um, but we are pretty great people. So we're pretty good people. And so yeah. So don't make assumptions. Actually have a conversation. Get to know a person, whether they have a TBI or not. But that's all I have for now. But tune in tomorrow. I have another episode of TBI Uncovered. I'll be interviewing a young lady from Indiana, and it's at a new time. It's at 5:30 Central Time and 6:30 Eastern Time. If you're in Eastern Time zone. But until next time, guys, remember to love God, love yourself, love others, and always remember to smile. It's good for you. Bye. Oh, I didn't do the thing. Bye, guys.